The show where there are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
I'm Moses Woldu, and welcome to this edition of The Gloves Are Off. Of course, we've got great topics for you. Kavis Reed coming up, and we always got a seat for you, just in case you're watching, that you'll be here.
You might be looking for something, won't you?
Well, you know what? Maybe a job within Newcap. You never know. But you got the seat right now next to me, my co-host, Greg Buchanan. How's it going?
Not too bad, Moses.
Excellent. And I'm pleased to be joined, I should say, by Darren Pawsey. You are the Bantam Mustangs. By the way, you're Bantam champions in the Wheatland Football League.
Thank you.
You are their head coach. How's it going?
Good. Very good. Thanks.
And I guess it was third time's the charm, eh?
Yeah, been there a couple times. We kind of saw what we had to do, so this year we figured we better do it. So it worked out good.
You know what? No time like the present, I'll tell you that much. Maybe with your recent success, you might be in line and maybe talk to Ed Hervey about that head coaching job in Edmonton. Because, of course, Kavis Reed let go the other day, 4-14, back-to-back losing seasons, and a little bit of frustration shown. You look at what happened in the body of work of Kavis Reed, especially this year. There were a couple plays that were questionable. The goal line situation when time expired against Montreal, field goals, you name it. Special teams was pretty much a disaster. But considering this guy a year ago had a contract extension, was he fairly given the opportunity this time around with Ed Hervey?
I think he was. You know, like you said, there were situations that I felt watching the game, it was play calling, and that comes right down to the head coach. And you know, in one situation, you have Mike Riley as your quarterback, and he's as mobile as he is, and then you pull him out and put in somebody that's been standing on the sidelines all game, and Kerry Joseph, and there's a fumble or there's a missed toss, and it blows the game for you right there. So, you know, I think he was given the tools to do it. I just don't. It's too bad that it didn't work out for him, because Kavis is a good guy. You know, he's a good coach, and
the team loves him.
The team really did like him. You know, and he's. I've met him a couple times at coaching clinics, in Eskimo coaching clinics, and he's easy to talk to and knowledgeable about the game and everything else. But it just didn't work out for him in Edmonton.
Yeah, I think it was game management, definitely. If you look back at this season, one game stands out for me for Kavis is that Montreal game. And they have the ball inside the 10. And I didn't watch the game, I heard it on radio. And Morley Scott, who does the play-by-play for the Eskimos, he couldn't even explain what was happening. and if he can't explain what's happening and the Eskimos look confused, then they ended up losing the game. I think it was game management, and on top of that, you got kind of feeling there was a bit of a rift going on when Ed Hervey threw one of his offensive linemen under the bus, and Kavis kind of supported the offensive lineman. So you almost thought it was us against him, and you don't want to put us against him when him is your boss, because him will win out before you do.
Well, it looks like Hervey wants to find someone like himself. Much like it, I don't know if he'll ever step into the coaching role, but I know he's going to be going to the States and searching for the next head coach for the Edmonton Eskimos. But let's talk about Kavis Reed one more time, about his CFL career. You mentioned it, Darren. He's got great knowledge. He could be a great coach somewhere. Will we see him in any capacity in the CFL next year and maybe the year after that as a head coach, coordinator? What do you guys think?
I think so. I don't know about head coach, but I think he'll be somewhere as a coordinator. I mean, he was special teams coordinator for the Riders, I believe.
Defensive coordinator in Winnipeg.
Coordinator
and the
for
year
Winnipeg.
They went to the Grey Cup.
Yeah. And then last year when they had some issues on the offense, and he started doing the play calling for the offense instead of Marcus Crandall. So I think he'll be there somewhere. I just don't know exactly where, but I would think it would be in a coordinator capacity.
Yeah, I say head coach, likely not. Some kind of coordinator position, as long as you can count up to 12.
That's the biggest thing.
I didn't want to mention
no, but I do want to get to this topic.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot going on with Kavis Reed. However, we'll get to something serious going on in the NFL. And we all know bullying is not acceptable in any place, whether it be the workplace, the schoolyard, you name it. And we constantly tell our kids that you shouldn't bully anybody and be treated the way you want to be treated. However, as grown men, maybe we don't see this as much, or maybe don't think that it happens when we get older. We're wiser, we're smarter. Well, not necessarily in Richie Incognito's case. Now, there is rumor with another fellow rookie O-lineman who was bullied. He decided to leave the team due to Richie Incognito. Now, nobody knew the exact specifications until yesterday, when we found out that there were text messages, phone calls, expletives used, threats towards his mother, himself. Very scary situation. Now, as a head coach, I know you've had experience coaching kids. I know you had experience much the same with the Mustangs. How do you, as an adult, how can you fathom something like this going on in a professional setting like the National Football League, guys?
I can't really. It really surprised me, and especially it surprised me because I felt that, not only is Richie Incognito, responsible for this, but I think his teammates as fellow players, the coaching staff, the management of the Miami Dolphins needed to step in and do something before it got to this point. And obviously they didn't. And it's too bad because the national attention that this is getting now is not doing Miami Dolphins team any good at all.
Yeah, it's a huge black eye to the Dolphins. Like you said, the leadership in the dressing room comes into question. The head coach was notified of something was going on, didn't really make an investigation. In the NFL, you have so many assistant coaches all over the place. Somebody's got to know something's going on here. And I know into the sports ranks, you have your veteran players and you have your rookies. I played in junior hockey. You kind of know that rookies are supposed to do certain things for the veterans. They're supposed to pick up. They're a bit of hazing,
lightly,
lightly
yes,
hazing.
exactly.
Like they had them. You have to pay for meals, and when you pay for meals for guys that are that big and play in the NFL, you're looking at a $30,000 bill. Not a word of a lie. When you're going out drinking and you're going out carousing, that's what your bill's going to be. You're a rookie, you pay it. But this went beyond that, and Miami, yeah, it ain't good.
Now, what happens to Richie Incognito? The team suspended him indefinitely. They're not cutting him, and the reason why they're not releasing him is because it's cheaper to keep him on your roster, put him on that 4-game suspension list that they have in the NFL, and then see what happens in the offseason to release him, because he'd be owed his full amount of salary if he was released and nobody picked him up. And in this case, I don't know if anybody can. Will we ever see Incognito in the NFL? Obviously not with the Dolphins, but anywhere.
I think we will, actually. I think we will. He's a talented player. I believe he's been to the Pro Bowl. It's too bad that this all had to happen, but I do believe somebody will probably end up, picking him up. I mean, if Adam Pac-Man Jones is still in the league, I mean, let's be real about it, right? I mean, he's a good player. Incognito is a great offensive lineman, so I think he'll catch on somewhere else, but I don't think he's going to play another game for Miami.
Yeah, somebody's going to take a chance with him and probably sign him up.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the CFL playoffs and get their predictions in terms of who's going to the Grey Cup.